podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Spanning the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is Subject Cinema's Avengers Endgame MCU Countdown.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Subject Cinema as we get closer and closer to Avengers Endgame. This is our Marvel Cinematic Movie Universe Countdown, and it's so exciting. We're glad you're here for another show. I'm Kim Brown.
I'm TC Kirkham, our Marvel Cinematic Universe countdown.
Yes.
Leading up to the release of Avengers Endgame on April 26, 2019.
So excited.
Yeah, everybody is. It's, people are, I still think they're being too conservative. I talked about this the other day, but I really do think this is the first movie that really has a shot at grossing $300 million in one weekend, including the Thursday previews. We'll see what happens.
It's going to be really interesting to see.
The problem is, again, like I said, it's running time. Mm-hmm. You know, it's catheter inducing. So it's like 3 hours and 2 minutes. It's almost as bad as, Return of the King. Well, when it comes to length. So it's like, okay. But we'll see. And most of all, we'll see who gets unsnapped at the end of the show.
That's the most important thing is who's coming.
Not everybody will be, according to what we've been told, but we'll see.
Yes, we know that some people are coming back, and we know some people aren't. So it's just a question of who's not coming back and why.
And people that may show up that aren't expected to show up.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been hearing all kinds of rumors. So
I have not been hearing rumors because I have made it a point not to listen to rumors.
I've made it a point not to actually look at the movie rundown, but I do want to see like rumors and stuff so I can try to spot things as we go in.
Yes,
because that's just the way
because you won't blab it all over the place.
No, I won't tell even you because I know you don't want to know.
Because you're not.
I went over one thing. We were talking the other day about the fan theories online surrounding Harley. What's his last name?
I don't remember. the little kid from
Iron Man 3's appearance, Harley, I've forgotten his last name, played by Ty Simpkins, who is confirmed to be an Endgame, and they're trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a big fan of Ty. Of course, he went on to bigger and better fame in Jurassic World, and so he's been seen, but we'll see when that comes out.
And thankfully was not in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, since that movie was not as good as
the other one. See it. Anyway, today's entry on April 8th, our fourth day of this countdown, is the debut of the God of Thunder.
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth was unknown in America. He was known down under in his native Australia, but he wasn't known in America yet for his role for the role he took on here, that of Thor.
Yes.
And we had seen hints of Thor in earlier MCU stuff, rumors that they'd found the hammer and stuff, but we hadn't actually seen the character until this movie.
And then we did. And boy, did we get a knife.
Was definitely happy.
Oh, yes.
Probably had to do some maintenance after the movie was over. And anyway,
I will neither confirm nor deny that. Because it's Lent. So
also, in addition to Chris Hemsworth, the movie co-starred Natalie Portman as Jane.
Yes.
Kat
Jane
Dennings,
Foster and Kat Dennings
as Darcy, Jane's assistant. Stellan Skarsgård as her mentor, Eric Selvig, Dr. Eric Selvig.
Sir Anthony Hopkins as Odin, the ruler of the Norse gods, and Rene Russo as his wife, Freya.
And we also saw the intro here of Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton. He was not yet Hawkeye, that would come later, but he was shown here, as was, of course, the one presence up through the first cycle of Avengers MCU films, and that's Clark Gregg as Agent Phil Coulson.
And that guy with the dark hair. Oh, what's his name? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I can't think of it right now.
Oh yes, we also met his half brother Loki.
Yes,
played by Tom Hiddleston.
Yes,
who for some reason has driven all the women crazy.
Whose online presence? Yeah. The women are hot for Thor, but they are crazy, stupid hot for Loki. Which, to be perfectly honest, I totally get.
Yeah, you've even sat through some of his less than stellar reviewed movies like I Saw the Light because you've become a big Tom Hiddleston
fan. I have become a big Tom Hiddleston fan. He's a terrific actor, and I liked I Saw the Light. I thought it was a really good film. We both saw Crimson Peak, and we liked that
Crimson
quite.
Peak was awesome.
We liked that
way
quite
better
a lot.
Way better than the critics said it was.
But here we're going to talk about hammer tossing and killer robots and stuff like that.
Hammer time. Let's segue back to Subject Cinema number 292, originally broadcast on May 18th, 2011, Mount St. Helens Day. Chris Hemsworth and cast introducing Thor.
You made my man look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops. That's hurtful. Would you like to tell me where you received your training? Afghanistan? Chechnya? Who are you?
The Norse gods have long been legends of old all over the Norse area, I would think. Mm-hmm. But only one of them, well, I think only one of them, is a true superhero, at least in the Marvel Universe. And we get the entire story in the first big-budget blockbuster of the summer. Give us the rundown on Thor.
Thor is the Norse god of thunder, and it turns out that the Norse gods are very real. They live on an alternate universe. Well, they live in a different planet from Earth called Asgard. What our ancestors worshipped as gods, would technically be aliens. Yeah. Would you think that would be a better way to word it?
Right. None of them live on another planet. It looks like just like a mountain.
Another dimension. It's kind of a thing. The enemy of the Asgardians, which is where they're from, Asgard, are the frost giants led by their king Laufey. And early on in the film, there is a climactic battle between Odin, the king of the Asgardians, and the frost giants of Jotunheim, which is another planet out there far, far away from us. And during this battle, Odin winds up losing his eye, but he does defeat Laufey and his frost giants, who are the bad guys, and he winds up taking as a prize the source of their power, which is called the Casket of Ancient Winters. It's this kind of blue box thing, which obviously is one of these do not open or some real bad stuff is going to happen. We're now up to now, and in the now, Odin is much older and is about to give over the reign of Asgard to his son, Thor, who is on Earth has been, referred to as the god of thunder. And Thor is a likable guy, if you like arrogant alpha male type A jerk-offs, because
don't mince words, hon. How do you really feel?
At first, Thor's kind of a dick. He's just, he's very arrogant. He's very sure of himself. And he is a very pissed off person when his ascension ceremony is interrupted by an invasion force, a very small invasion force, of frost giants who show up trying to rip off said Casket of Ancient Winters. Thor is so mad at this, how dare these, scummy things show up and wreck my ceremony, that he throws a bit of a tantrum and then decides to take another invading force of 4 other people. Great job, buddy. To Jotunheim. Five, sorry.
4 of his friends and his brother Loki.
whose idea this kind of was, even though he's kind of being like, oh no, don't do it, stop, wait, don't. Yeah, right, you're totally being like, oh yeah, you don't want to do this, sure you don't. They head to Jotunheim and it doesn't go well. In fact, it goes so not well that Daddy Odin has to show up to save Thor's bacon and proceeds to get so cheesed off at his son, but he can't take away the car because they don't have one. But he can take away Thor's power, strip him of his godhood, take his hammer, Jolnir, from him, and cast him out of Asgard, strip him of his powers and his super strength, and fling him into the cosmos, where he promptly crash lands on Earth in New Mexico.
At night. Where he gets run into.
Literally.
By
Jane Foster, a scientist who is looking into, astronomical anomalies out in the middle of the desert. She's an astrophysicist. Yes, out in the middle of the desert. She's assisted by her mentor, Dr. Eric Selvig, and her intern, a college student named Darcy Lewis.
Darcy is a science major, political science.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the science that she's doing.
Thor, needless to say, is brought to the hospital after being tased by Darcy, is sedated in the hospital and winds up tied to a bed because they all think that he's crazy. Gosh, I can't picture why. Meanwhile, things are not going all that well in Asgard, because Loki has taken control of the throne, and he's got some...
Well, explain why, because Odin has suddenly been stricken with the stress of banishing his son and the fact that he's got to be pretty freaking old to begin with. And the other son has found out his secret.
Yes, there is a dark secret which Loki finds out about his parentage. And Odin falls into what I would call a coma.
Yeah.
They refer to it as the Odin sleep, and during this...
Old sleep.
Odin sleep.
Oh, okay, because I thought they said old sleep.
No, it's Odin sleep.
Okay.
During this time when he's incapacitated, Loki takes control of Asgard, which, surprise, was his intent all along. And things go rapidly wrong from there.
Now, down on Earth, Mjolnir, the giant hammer that Thor had, has been found by S.H.I.E.L.D. in the middle of the Arizona desert. And S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, what's his name? Our favorite S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Oh, what is his name?
It should be there.
It is there. Give me a minute. I can't. Hold up. Agent Coulson.
Agent Coulson, who has set up a perimeter around it and proceeds to try and find out what's going on.
Because this thing is stuck in the ground like Excalibur, and like Excalibur, nobody seems to be able to pull this thing out of the ground.
Including Stan Lee.
Including a great cameo by Stan Lee. Yay, Stan. And we proceed to go into the most crazy adventure ever. Oh my gosh, this movie was so fun. This movie it literally was like reading a comic and having it just pop to life right in front of you. It was just, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I had such a good time. I mean,
run down the cast, please.
The cast is Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
Chris last seen as George Kirk at the beginning of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. One word. Wow. Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Sir Anthony Hopkins as Odin, Stellan Skarsgård as Eric Selvig, Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis, Idris Elba as Heimdall, the guardian of the Rainbow Bridge, which connects Asgard to wherever you want to go. Colm 4 as Lofe, and Ray Stevenson, Tanobu Asano, and Joshua Dallas as, respectively, Volstagg, Hogun, and Fandral, the Warriors 3, all friends and allies of Thor. Jamie Alexander as Sif, another friend of Thor's, and Renee Russo as Frigga, Thor's mother.
And Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson.
Yes.
This was
so
hella fun.
Much fun. Oh my gosh.
I gotta say, I liked this better than any of the Avengers movies so far.
Really?
I love Iron Man, and Iron Man 2 was good too, but this just kicked But, and it has a lot to do with the fact that Chris Hemsworth is so totally believable as Thor that it's scary. He is the Thor character right out of the comic book. I mean, when he goes after Mjolnir, when he realizes what's there and then he can't get it, you really feel for him because he realizes at that moment everything has gone wrong.
Yeah. I've really screwed up.
Yeah. Also, I love Natalie Portman anyway, and she is fantastic as Dr. Jane. Stellan Skarsgård, one of my favorite actors, as her mentor, and Kat Dennings is freaking hilarious as Darcy.
Kat Dennings just picks up her scenes and walks off with them. Picks them up, walks away.
This is the difference between Transformers and the Avengers. In Transformers, all the sidekicks are really annoying. Whoever's making them, Michael Bay, apparently thinks they're funny, but they're not. Here, it's the same kind of oddball sidekick, and she's drop-dead funny in every scene she's in. I love Kat Dennings anyway. She's one of my favorite young actresses, a rising star in 2009, I believe, and absolutely steals every scene she's in. And I love Clark Gregg, too. Clark Gregg is a wonderful character actor, and he's been playing Agent Coulson since the original Iron Man film and continues to do it throughout. There's a great cameo in the middle by an upcoming Avenger.
We won't tell you for who.
And a few other things.
And, of course, stay till after the credits.
After the credits is the next segment of what's going to be happening in the Avengers film. Which isn't what I was told. I was told that they were leading into Captain America with the closer on this, and it's not. So that must happen at the end of the Captain America movie, which will be out in 2 months.
See, I thought I figured they were going to be doing some kind of a Hulk reference, other than the Bruce Banner reference we got earlier on, which made me do like a little happy squeak thing, because I'm thinking, Mark Ruffalo! But
they did, where was that?
He mentioned,
he mentioned a gamma ray scientist. He never said the name.
He never said the name, no, but who else is it going to be? Come on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, comic geek shining through. I know.
And
I gotta say, Chris Hemsworth, woo! Is it hot in here, or is it just you? I thought he was fantastic.
The scene in the diner is hysterical.
The scene in the diner is great. There's one scene, a little bit of... No, I wouldn't call this a spoiler, but it's just one thing that I had to bring up, and I brought it up to you last night on the walk home. There's a point in the trailer where... earlier on, when Odin's ripping his son a new one, and he refers to him as a vain, greedy, cruel boy... there's a part after the scene where he can't lift the hammer.
I said that, yeah.
Where he is being visited by his brother, and he thinks his brother's come to take him home. And he looks up at him, and he says, "Can I come home now?" And it's so...
Be aware that he's only been away from home for like 2 days.
I realize that, but for someone
No, I'm telling them. I'm not telling you.
But it's just so sad. You can really see a lost, confused little boy inside this big, brawny guy. And I was just sort of sitting there like, oh, come here, I want to hug you. You know, I was just like, that's just so sad. You know, what?
Nothing.
I know, it's me. Whatever. Tom Hiddleston, oh my gosh, he knocked it out of the park as Loki. He really did. There's a couple of times when he's really scary. I mean, he is really, really scary watching him come unglued.
Yeah.
I love Natalie Portman too. You know I love her. And after Your Highness, oh my gosh.
She needs a hit.
She needs
something that she can really sink her teeth into that isn't the Academy Award-winning Black Swan and isn't something as god-awful as Your Highness.
No. What's your score?
I give Thor an A-.
I give Thor an A- too. Awesome movie. If you're a comic fan, definitely check it out. You'll love it.
Okay, get it out of your system.
What?
Everything you have built up when you watch Chris Hemsworth on screen. And Tom Hiddleston. This was a great opening for this character.
Yeah, just real quick, to anybody who might have been in the ladies' room at the cinema after we saw this movie, if you heard a lot of moaning and banging around, that was the pipes. Okay, thanks, bye.
This was a great way to introduce him. And it was a bit shocking. I have to say, though, one thing that I truly love about this movie is the character of Darcy, played by Kat Dennings.
She's awesome.
Kat has been a favorite of ours since she appeared in Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. And I didn't watch Two Broke Girls. It's just, I hate really insipid sitcoms. But
we loved her in that. We loved her in Charlie Bartlett.
Yeah, she's great in everything.
Yep.
Where she also worked with Robert Downey Jr.
Yes, she did.
And I love this character, and it's a shame we didn't get to see her in
We need a
Ragnarok.
solo movie. Darcy needs a solo movie.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, yes, she does.
But I'd love to see her pop into the Avengers universe in other places.
Yeah.
Because she's quite funny.
We need her in a road movie, like a buddy road movie with somebody else. That would be awesome.
Who would you suggest pairing her with? He says, knowing this is going to be a mistake.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I actually didn't have anybody in mind.
Why don't we have her be Carol Danvers' new sidekick?
That would be cool.
We'll get to Captain Marvel later in the countdown.
Speaking of Captain Marvel, or actually a different Captain Marvel.
Tomorrow on the MCU countdown, we will be looking at the first take of Chris Evans in the proper Marvel universe. He was in the Marvel universe prior to that in the Fox version of Fantastic Four, but he was not technically a part of the MCU until he took on the role of Steve Rogers in Captain America, the First Avenger, and that is coming to you on installment 5 tomorrow on the Subject Cinema Avengers Endgame MCU countdown. Until then, I'm TC Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
Let's get going.
Okay, bye-bye now.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.